Have you ever wondered how it is that all of this becoming has become? Don't you wonder about the expansion and the evolution of your universe and even of your time and place? Haven't you noticed that there are no pipelines trucking resources in from other planets? What's happening is vibration is becoming. Vibration is becoming reality. And there is a powerful and specific and learnable, teachable, doable, dependable process where you can deliberately turn vibration to thought and thought to thing. And we want you, if we could just mind meld for a little bit, we could just zap you with our knowing about this because of the joy we know that it would bring to you. If we could just convince you that in this process of thoughts turning to things, that's what you came for, that's the joy that you came for. You think you came for the thought having already turned to the thing. In other words, once I get that, then I'll feel happy. And we say, got to feel happy along the way or it can't happen. You've got to be ready 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 to be ready. So much so that when that final manifestational phase kicks in, where the powerful universe is just yielding to you all of the components and you feel it happening because the collaborative parties are all surrounding you. There's so much cooperation and you see it everywhere you turn. There's someone else standing there with their hands out and you with your hands out. You're there to collaborate with one another. Before it tips into that phase of creation, before that actually happens, you've got to be in a vibrational place of allowing it. And if you are, then the tipping into the manifestation just feels like the next logical step to you. It doesn't blow your mind. You don't go, wow, oh, that's unbelievable. How did that happen to me? You just understood because you were ready for this, and then 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 you were ready for this. This is the energy that creates worlds that you're tapping into. And your inner being is flowing this vibration toward you, knowing full well everything that you've been asking for. Everything that as you've sifted through what you don't want and known what you do want, that you've thrown vibrationally into your vibrational reality. In other words, your inner being knows what you're reaching for in physical format. We're not trying to talk you out of being alive in your body. And we're not trying to talk you out, in fact, the opposite is true, of not creating. We want you to create magnificent everythings that you want, relationships and empires and bank accounts and loveliness of life. We want you to create all of those things. We just want you to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. Because you can't get there from here if you're not ready. If you are not able to go right back to the almost primal beginning of the root of who you are and allow that pureness to become a little more and then become a little more and then to become a little more, you're not going to be consciously turning thoughts to things. But once you allow yourself to get there, then what happens? So now we have to start in another place. And most of you have heard us say this, and if you haven't, we're going to say it so clearly, you'll get it with this one explanation. So when you're not worrying about money, or when you're not remembering how mad you are at that person, or when you're not dreading doing something, or when you're not throwing your remote at the television, when you are in a place of mindlessness, and by that we mean your own human conscious mind focused on something, when you are not thinking your own thought, when you are in that state of mindlessness, your source energy will be the dominant vibration within you. You got ready for that. You're getting ready for that just by listening to us. And when you sit and you do that, you'll get it. And when you come back into your full consciousness after having found that, you'll feel better. You will feel a sense of satisfaction. Hold the satisfaction word in your mind. We're going to come back around to it many times today. So you feel satisfied. Now, that's enough. Don't sit there and meditate all day. You'll make yourself crazy. And your mind is not designed that way. Your mind is designed to focus. So just take that as that I got ready to be ready and I was ready. And then get on with the other things that you're about. Because there are many things that you already have momentum about. You got kids to feed and employers to pretend like you're serving, and you have a lot going on in your experience. So then the next day when you meditate, same thing, only this time it will be easier for you because now you know the feeling that you're reaching for, and when you find it, you may be there a little longer. If you meditate for 15 minutes, maybe the first day, 14 and a half minutes, you won't have gotten there. But the second day, around 12 or 13 minutes, you may find yourself in that place. So get there, and when you come out of meditation, don't think during meditation. It's counterproductive. But when you come out of meditation, say to yourself, well, I got ready to be ready, and I was ready. And so just let it go like that for just a little while. Ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. Now here's what's going to happen. Right away, you'll notice this. Right away, even before you get to the place where you've really got a quieted mind, just with a little bit of focus on that, a little bit more readiness to be ready, what you'll begin to notice is that those pure vibrations that are coming from your source pack a lot of wallop. And by that we mean they are powerful. You came from non-physical, and here you are in your physical body, and most of you is still non-physically focused, but this important part of you is here sifting and sorting through contrast. So you know what you don't want, and you launch rockets of what you do want, and every time you launch that rocket of what you do want, your source joins you in that thought. So we've been saying for years that the creative process is step one, you must ask. That's why you're in this body sifting and sorting. It's important that you get to decide what you want, how you want to live, how you want to be, where you want to live, what kind of life you want to live, who you want to live it with, how much fun you want to have. In other words, it's important that you identify all of those things. And so when you do, at both conscious and unconscious levels, you launch these rockets of desire. And when you do, step one, then step two happens, which means source energy joins that vibrational rockets. Source energy answers, vibrationally answers, vibrationally. We are very pleased to be having this conversation with ourselves because source energy does answer, but you got to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready.